Hey, what is going on guys? Danny here, welcome back to the channel and I hope you're all doing well. In this video, we'll be discussing an update regarding stock and availability for the RTX 3000 series GPUs. Before I get into this topic, I just wanted to give you guys an update in regards to my RTX 3080 review, as I know many of you have been anxiously waiting for my review and waiting to see my results for my testing. Don't worry, I'm hoping to get the review out later this week, or at the latest early next week. I just had some stuff come up in between, so that took away some time I had for testing, and I also had to re-download a whole bunch of games on my new test bench, and when you live in a country where consumers are shafted for even the most basic internet plans, then you have to deal with crappy download speeds, which can be kind of time consuming. But I digress. But once I had all the games installed, benchmarking had been coming along nicely, so the review will be coming very soon along with a lot more content, so stay tuned and make sure you're subscribed. As for the topic of this video, we'll first be going over an interesting article from Tom's Hardware where they got some information in regards to the whole low stock situation from Nvidia. During a Q&A session from their GTC conference, which was held earlier this week virtually in Jensen's kitchen, Nvidia CEO Jensen Huang had unveiled new professional class GPUs, the RTX A6000 and RTX A40 GPUs. So if you're interested, a link will be down below. Now, during this Q&A session, it was obvious with the current situation, a question would come up in regards to product availability, and Jensen had responded with some more information, which gives us more insight into how severe the situation actually is, and it doesn't look promising at all. Jensen said that, "I believe that demand will outstrip all of our supply through the year." Remember, we're also going into a double whammy. The double whammy is the holiday season. Even before the holiday season, we were doing incredibly well, and then you add on top of it the Ampere factor, and then you add on top of that the Ampere holiday factor. We're going to have a really big Q4 season. Furthermore, he goes on to say that the 3080 and 3090 have a demand issue, not a supply issue. The demand issue is that it is much greater than we expected, and we expected really a lot. Retailers will tell you that they haven't seen a phenomenon like this in over a decade of computing. It harkens back to the old days of Windows 95 and Pentium when people were just out of their minds to buy this stuff. So this is a phenomenon like we've not seen in a long time, and we just weren't prepared for it. Even if we knew about all the demand, I don't think it's possible to have ramped up that fast. We're ramping really hard. Yields are great, the product's shipping fantastically, it's just getting sold out instantly. I appreciate it very much, I just don't think there's a real problem to solve. It's a phenomenon to observe, it's just a phenomenon. So there was definitely a lot said here from Jensen, surprisingly more than I expected him to say on the situation. However, in regards to some of the stuff he mentioned, it does raise some eyebrows, and I'm going to call BS on it. First and foremost, the situation doesn't look like it's going to get any better anytime soon, which is quite unfortunate to see, because I know there are many enthusiasts who were looking to get their hands on these cards, and I know the struggle of trying to check with many local retailers and being told, look, we have no ETA, and having to have multiple pages and tabs set on auto refresh. It's not fun. It's funny because I was thinking Nvidia wasn't going to mention anything about that at all, about the stock situation and how they didn't expect any of it, because it only looks bad on them. Imagine releasing a product that you know many people will try to get their hands on, but then follow up by saying, hey, there's just one more thing. It's going to be extremely difficult for you to get one, and will probably remain that way for the foreseeable future. That's definitely going to make a lot of consumers disappointed, maybe even turned off to the point where they'll go, alright, if it's just going to take that long anyway, I might as well just wait and see what AMD have in store for us. Or I'll just buy a last generation card, and if you can find a used 2080 Ti for a good deal, then that'll still be an excellent and viable purchase, as it's still a very fast card. The other thing I'll say is that Jensen really shouldn't have said that they're going to be having issues keeping up with demand. What this does is that it actually empowers and motivates these scalpers to double down on what they're doing to the market, because now they know that supply will remain short while demand will remain high. Therefore, they can continue to keep scalping people, which, by the way, I've said this before, but I'll reiterate it again, don't buy from a scalper. Do whatever it is that you need to do in order to wait. Play on lower settings, buy a used GPU to hold you over it. Just don't get impatient and buy an overpriced 3080 or 3090. This only encourages the scalpers to continue with their antics. These scalpers will now continue with their bots and scripts in order to snag up every 3080 or 3090 that's in the supply chain and put them on third-party marketplaces in order to make a quick buck. Along with the upcoming holiday season, demand is gonna be even higher than it already is. The other thing I will say is that he is right about this being a double whammy. Due to the human malware, a lot of industries and companies are shifting into this work from home model, with many having to set up personal home offices that actually need a proper desktop and not your grandma's tablet. So computers, computer parts, laptops, monitors, all of that was already in high demand. I mean, I still can't even find a webcam in stock at my local Walmart, so that gives you an idea of how bad it is. And when you factor the holiday season on top of that, you're going to be seeing consumer electronics in high demand, and with low supply, expect a little availability. Moving on though, he mentions how the 3080 and 3090 have a demand issue, and it's not a supply issue, and that demand was greater than they expected, and they weren't even prepared. With him following up by saying our yields are great, we're ramping up production, but the product still gets sold out instantly. This to me is just nonsense. I already went over this in one of my previous videos where I comment on their official statement, but this is actually BS. There's no way a company as large as Nvidia says that they weren't prepared because demand exceeded their expectations. If this was the case, it was very bad planning on their part. You're releasing a brand new series of GPUs, which are actually a considerable upgrade over the last 2 generations of video cards. Turing didn't sell well because it was underwhelming compared to the Pascal 10 series. It didn't bring a generational improvement that normally comes with every new generation. So a lot of owners who were on 10 series and even 900 series graphics cards decided to wait for the RTX 3000 series. Even Jensen during his live stream admitted and said that Ampere is the generation you guys should be upgrading to, all my Pascal friends.
All my Pascal gamer friends, it is safe to upgrade now.
So for him to say I wasn't expecting the demand to be this high or experience this kind of phenomenon seems rather short-sighted. Along with him saying that the 3080 and 3090 don't have a supply issue is a false statement. Their recent actions contradict this as well, where they delayed the release of the RTX 3070 to the 29th of October, where it was originally planned to be released on the 15th of October. So if it wasn't a supply issue, why are you delaying it? It's because there are supply issues, and they want to make sure that there will be a decent amount of cards, hopefully, by the 29th when the 3070 is supposed to hit store shelves. Furthermore, I've talked to many of my local computer parts retailers here in Canada, and all of them pretty much give me the same answers. Supply is low, we have a huge backlog of back orders now, with no ETA as to when they'll be getting stock to fulfill those orders, and with no sign of improvement on the situation. One store told me that if I was to place a back order for an RTX 3080 or 3090 now, then I'd be looking at receiving the card sometime in January of 2021, which is absolutely crazy. A user on the Nvidia subreddit posted a screenshot of an email he got back from Memory Express, who are a fairly well-known computer parts store in Canada, and the message that he got back said the following. To give you an idea of the demand on these cards, as of right now, we have over 3,800 back orders across all RTX 3080 cards. We have received only about 100 company-wide so far, meaning since release they only got 100 when there are literally thousands of them waiting in line. And it looks like these cards are going to be scarce and in high demand for a while. And it's not just Canada, but you can see this happening all over the world, with many interested buyers posting similar messages from various retailers all over the world. I've also heard of many retailers simply not accepting back orders and thus forcing people to camp their sites constantly refreshing or lining up every day in the morning in hopes of getting a new card. I mean, that's how I randomly just stumbled upon my RTX 3080. I refreshed Newegg, it just happened to show the card in stock at the time, and I was able to check out successfully, and I'm, really grateful for that. But this is what's also frustrating for a lot of buyers, because not being able to put yourself on a back order list or a queue means that you just are left out hanging with absolutely no information or no exact dates as to when you can expect to buy one of these graphics cards. Well, at least when you have a back order system, you'll be able to know roughly, when you can expect a card, and at least know that you will get a card. Not as if, you won't be able to get a card unless you actually hit checkout. So there's that negative over there. For them to just say, yeah, supply is all good and we're just seeing a lot of demand is just partially true. Here's the other thing, while these high-end RTX 30 series GPUs are getting a lot of attention as of late, it's really only because these are the only new GPUs that have hit the market, whereas the majority of consumers are going to be waiting for mainstream or mid-range graphics cards starting at that $200 price point and going to around $350, like the RTX 3060. There definitely is some exaggeration there where they claim everyone wants one of these $700 or $1,500 $1,500 GPUs. This is definitely a supply issue as much as it is a demand issue. Furthermore, on Twitter, a retired engineer who is a well-regarded source for news and leaks surrounding PC hardware has mentioned that board partners are also mentioning low availability until 2021. He mentions that some board partners are exploring the idea of bundling high-end motherboards with these GPUs in order to deter scalpers. Now, I remember back when AMD had released Vega 64 and Vega 56 and had used a similar strategy with these Radeon packs where they were essentially doing the same thing to deter GPU miners. Unfortunately, that strategy didn't really work out so well, and GPUs were all gobbled up anyways. I mean, if these scalpers are looking to make hundreds or maybe thousands of dollars from scalping these GPUs, then what's a couple of motherboards going to do to them? Absolutely nothing. No matter how Nvidia and Jensen spin this, it's due to their shortcomings. I think it would have been better for everyone had they just delayed the cards until later on in the year and made sure they had proper websites with anti-bot measures and had actually let everyone purchase them. But it is what it is, so it only looks like the only thing we can do is that we can hope in the coming months supply improves. As of now, I wish you guys all the best luck with F5ing on your keyboards. I hope you guys found this video to be informative and helpful. Let me know your thoughts down below. Check out the video description on ways to support the channel and for my other videos. If you guys are interested in more content like this, then make sure you subscribe. Thanks for watching, take care, and I'll see you guys in the next one.